Another scramble for a congressional seat in Congress with a surprise retirement announcement today. The U.S. Supreme Court agrees to take up Colorado's court decision that Donald Trump should be involuntarily retired from politics. 14 months in jail for the police officer who killed Elijah McClain.
This is not justice. This is not accountability. This is just a slap on the wrist.
And a tradition is born when neighbors got together to help someone feeling lonely. Years later, they're still at it.
No matter how your own life is going, you get this couple of hours for good every week.
Making room for pure goodness every week, just like we try to do on Fridays when we sit down together on Next. Colorado Republicans are about to play a wild game of musical chairs. All 3 of their congressional seats will be up for grabs this year. Doug Lamborn said today he's retiring, so that opens his seat in the Colorado Springs area. Here come 3 Republican primaries in the last solidly red congressional districts in our blue state. And here's Marshall Zellinger.
It's only been about 8 hours since Republican Congressman Doug Lamborn announced he's retiring, opening up Congressional District 5 in El Paso County. Over the course of the day, I was given 17 names of potential Republican candidates, so I reached out to them. Colorado Republican Party Chair Dave Williams did not answer me, but told Colorado Politics he's considering running. Former Colorado Secretary of State Wayne Williams just lost his race for Colorado Springs mayor, and he said, "I'm examining. I've had a number of people who have reached out and asked me to consider running." Jeff Crank ran against Lamborn when the seat was open in 2006 and tried again in 2008. He said, "Over the next 8 to 10 days, I will decide." I did not hear back from former Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers or State Representative Rose Puglisi. Former State Senator Dennis Heisey was one of 2 to tell me, "No, I won't be considering a run." State Representative Don Wilson will not be pursuing CD5 either. State Senate Minority Leader Paul Lundeen is talking to family and advisors before deciding. State Senator Bob Gardner, known for lengthy speeches, was brief with me, saying, "I'm being inundated with texts and emails to consider this. I'm doing that." Former Olympian Eli Bremer, who ran for U.S. Senate, is considering all options and talking with family and previous supporters. I did not hear back from several others. El Paso County Republican Chairwoman Vicki Tompkins and Vice Chair Todd Watkins. Still nothing back from the Geithner household. Neither El Paso County Commissioner Kerry Geithner nor former State Representative Tim Geithner got back to me. Nothing from former State Representative Dan Nordberg or former U.S. Senate candidate Darrell Glenn. El Paso County Commissioner Stan Vanderwerf told me, "My phone has been ringing off the hook all day. I am contemplating running." And Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's campaign spokesman confirmed she is not switching to this race and will continue to run for Congressional District 4.
If you or someone you know is a Republican who ever wanted to hold a seat in Congress, this might be your year. The more candidates in the race, the more diluted the vote, where 20%, give or take, might get you a win in the primary and then a likely win in the general election. But, Kyle, candidates need to collect signatures to run for Congress or go through the assembly process where you need to get enough support from the party insiders or you're out.
So wait, Lauren Boebert is not going to switch districts again twice in 2 weeks, pull like a double Boebert? She's going to stay.
She's staying in CD4. I can't believe I got an answer back, but yeah, I'm glad I did.
It's fascinating, though, that this happens. Open season for safe Republican seats in Colorado at a time when the party has really kind of been turned on its head. I mean, look at who occupied those seats. Scott Tipton, Ken Buck, Doug Lamborn, all very conservative Republicans, all pro-Trump Republicans, all got turned on for not being Trumpy enough.
And now we're going to see how the Republican Party voters in this state, actually Republican and unaffiliated voters, at least they take part in the primary, how they react to this. Because the party insiders are the Trumpier Republicans in this state. But if you get everybody involved, maybe they still will be replaced with people of like-mindedness that are still Trump supporters, just not those gung-ho Trump MAGA supporters that some of the candidates are hoping this is their moment to swoop into Congress.
What a year in Colorado politics is coming our way. Marshall, thank you. Our next question is from Eric, who sees the exodus of Colorado's GOP representatives and asked, what is the state of the GOP in Colorado? Eric, this is going to take a minute. I assume that you're not just looking for the same old statistics on like voter registration or fundraising. My assumption is that you would like some deeper analysis, the kind of thing that you are not going to hear elsewhere, so buckle up. The Colorado Republican Party, much like the Republican National Committee, no longer primarily exists to serve a political philosophy or a group of like-minded voters. The national and the state Republican parties each exist largely to serve the personal interests of one man, Donald Trump, and in Colorado, Republican Chairman Dave Williams. The Colorado GOP is used by and for Williams to boost his favorites within the party, to attack his enemies within the party, to stoke his grievances, to promote his election rigging conspiracy theories, even to tell Republicans they need to convert to his religion. Williams lost a Republican primary to Congressman Lamborn. Then he used the official party apparatus to attack Congressman Lamborn. And today, the same party apparatus boosted Williams' talk about maybe entering the race for Congress. Williams and Trump share some, shall we say, authoritarian, curious tendencies. But while Trump seeks a return to the White House, Williams seems content to burn down what's left of the Colorado Republican Party so long as he can be king of the ashes. And most of Colorado's Republican leaders, from legislators to talk radio hosts, seem content to be ruled by this man. Now, I suspect that, like when Trump is no longer leader of the National Party, that when Williams is gone from state party leadership, there are going to be a lot of people who claim that they stood up to him. History will show many didn't stand. They bent the knee, they cast their eyes to the ground, and they submitted as one man made their party his own. So it's official. As of this afternoon, Donald Trump will be on Colorado's Republican presidential primary ballot. Now it's just up to the United States Supreme Court to decide if those votes should count, whether Trump is eligible for office. The Supreme Court today agreed to review Colorado's first-of-its-kind court ruling that Trump is an insurrectionist and therefore barred from office like the Confederate officers after the Civil War. Trump's team says that doesn't apply to the president and that the Trump mob that attacked the Capitol to stop the certification of the election was not really an insurrection. The Supreme Court's decision to hold arguments in early February means it's possible that they issue a ruling before Colorado's primary in March. But Trump's name is going to appear on the ballot regardless of what's decided because the primary ballot was certified this afternoon. The only police officer convicted in the death of Elijah McClain is going to spend 14 months in the county jail. That sentence today for former Aurora police officer Randy Redeema. A jury convicted Redeema of criminally negligent homicide and assault. He was one of 3 Aurora police officers who responded that night in 2019. 911 caller said that McClain looked suspicious. He was walking home. He'd done nothing wrong. They stopped him, restrained him. They took McClain to the ground before paramedics injected him with ketamine. He did not survive. 2 other officers, Jason Rosenblatt and Nathan Woodyard, were both convicted. Today in court, Redeema again blamed his training for the incident as he requested the minimum sentence.
I do not think there is anything that I can say that will make this okay. In fact, I know I don't. However, I want the McClain family to know the sadness I feel about Elijah being gone.
Redeema's words were hollow to the mother of the young man that he killed. Our Alex Lewis spoke with Shanine McClain after today's sentencing. Alex, she's been clear that this is the justice system, but she doesn't see justice in it for her or her son.
Not at all. Another day of disappointment for Shanine. And interestingly enough, we had never heard from Redeema in his own words before. He didn't testify in his own defense. So his ability to kind of express remorse in his own way today was the first time Shanine had ever heard him speak about this incident. Needless to say, she wasn't that impressed, and she did not hold back when it came time for her to give her impact statement to the judge.
Where was Randy Redeema's humanity and kindness that night? There was no reason for Randy Redeema to put his knee in my son's back and sit on my son's chest. Randy heard my son cry and beg for his life. Randy heard my son's body parts shift under the weight of Randy's torturous tactics. Randy knew he was wrong, but continued to operate as a barbarian instead of a peace officer.
Shanine continued in her 5-minute statement to the court discussing a lack of remorse from Rodima's disposition and mannerisms throughout the trial. It was interesting. After sentencing, Shanine immediately came out. She addressed all of the cameras in the media. That's something we had never seen her do in any of these 3 trials over the span of the last few months. It was a different Shanine today. It wasn't that kind of dejected sadness of another unfavorable outcome. That was gone. It was more resolve and just anger. And I asked her about that when we were able to talk one-on-one. I'm like, where did that come from? And she said she prepared herself today. She prepared herself for Randy Rodima only getting probation. So the fact that he got any jail time at all was a bit of a surprise. It was a bit of a surprise that there was no jail time at all. She talked to me a little bit about that, and we'll share that with you tonight at 9 and 10 on 9 News. But essentially, this is a 14-month jail sentence, and we want to make clear this is with work release. So this isn't a straight jail sentence of 14 months. He will be able to go to work, and he will be serving this time in county jail, not in prison, Kyle.
Not working at the Aurora Police Department, we should mention. He's not allowed to be a cop anymore as a result of this. When I heard Shanine McClain speaking today, Alex, I heard somebody who is not going to stop speaking when these trials are over. We got the sentencing coming up for the paramedics, but it sounded to me like somebody who expects to have a voice in the community going forward.
Absolutely, and she addressed that today. What does that look like for her? She said she's started writing a book that she can share her story that way, and she's still considering running for office, something we saw, Rhonda Fields do after her son died in City Park. So that potentially could be her line into politics. She said she's trying to talk herself out of it, but we'll have to see. We're not going to hear the end of Shanine McClain after March 1st, the sentencing of the paramedics.
All right, Alex Lewis, who's been on this from the very start. Alex, thank you. So kids headed back to school this week, and in the Sun Valley neighborhood, one of Denver's lowest income neighborhoods, those kids then went from school over to the Sun Valley Youth Center, a place they love. This week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign is boosting the work of the Sun Valley Youth Center. That nonprofit has an eye toward working through trauma and everything that it does, because it knows that a good number of these kids have got some other pretty heavy stuff going on in their lives. And then they offer one-on-one tutoring to make sure that everybody's on top of their schoolwork and doing well. Nutritious food anytime they want it. And this is not just after school. This is on summer break and on any break days from school. They take field trips all over Colorado so that these kids get a glimpse of life outside of Sun Valley. More than anything, though, this youth center is a place to be safe and to play, whether it's like kindergarten-age kids clear up through high school. So young people who grow up in the Sun Valley Youth Center often then get hired to help the younger ones come along behind them to imagine a different kind of future. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to get the link to join me in donating to the Sun Valley Youth Center. And you can now simplify your giving by setting up a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. You put in your info once and your monthly donation gets split automatically among all the nonprofits that we feature. You can use that same QR code or text to get there. This week, it's that Sun Valley Youth Center, which embraces kids who are often facing a variety of challenges and helps bring out their talents and passions as they head toward a different kind of life.
We're only going to be able to house 40 people through the winter, and we can't handle more than that.
A small mountain town says even with some state help, they cannot do this alone. And on the road to friendship, a cup of coffee is often a great start. These women know it all too well. We'll end the week the way we always do, with your good news. Denver's migrant crisis looks like tens of thousands of people overflowing from shelters. Carbondale's migrant crisis looks like a few dozen people, but too many for the small town outside Aspen to accommodate without help. The town of about 7,000 people thinks they've received roughly 125 migrants total, but they have no dedicated shelter. Carbondale was housing people in a community center, no showers, no kitchen. There were other migrants staying in their cars to stay warm. After the first time we told you what was going on in Carbondale, the state pitched in around $200,000, which the mayor says is enough to shelter 40 people through the winter, no more.
It's going to be time for other communities to step up as well and kind of ask themselves, what's their number? 40 people is about 0.5% of Carbondale's total population. So if you start to think along those lines, you know, what's about 0.5% of a place's population? Can you accommodate that many people if their alternative is sleeping outside at night or going to the next town and hoping that they're accommodated in some way there.
Mayor said he thought people might freeze to death over the winter in the cold mountain air. Carbondale says these shelters are just for the winter. They expect to scale them back around the end of March.
Well, as we move through the rest of the evening, we're going to see very brief scattered snow showers all the way until tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, the sunshine returns. 35 degrees right now at DIA. We're dry but cloudy. We have winds coming in from the northeast at 6 miles per hour, but it feels closer to 30 degrees on the skin. So if you're going to be out tonight enjoying your Friday night, make sure you're bundled up, because even if there's no snow overhead, the wind chill's very cold and dangerous on the skin. We take a look at our HD Doppler radar, and this is really what it's going to look like through the rest of the evening. Very brief but scattered and widespread snow showers all across the state. We zoom into the urban corridor here, and you can see some light snow showers just southeast of Denver. We've seen some in the foothills and high country, then some off into the eastern plains. So overall, we're going to see light, spotty snow showers, overnight lows near 21 degrees. Tomorrow, some of those snow showers linger into the early morning hours, but we will get some afternoon sunshine, highs in the upper 30s to low 40s. Our next big system is looking to push in late Sunday into early Monday. We get a bit of a break Tuesday, then Wednesday through the rest of the week, we're watching for more on and off scattered snow showers.
No matter how your own life is going, you get this couple of hours for good every week.
How about a couple of minutes for good every week? Simple questions can start beautiful traditions. Ours every Friday is asking you, what's your good news? A group of women in Littleton started their tradition when a neighbor, feeling lonely, asked, anybody want to get coffee?
What happens at Ladies' Coffee stays at Ladies' Coffee. It's like Fight Club for the softer set. Hi, Julie. Hi, Julie.
It's just a fantastic place to come and meet other women.
And by the way, your earrings are fabulous.
We laugh a lot.
We laugh all the time about everything.
I'm out.
I looked forward to this group.
And we started coming here a little over 2 years ago. But the reason we got together was COVID. There was a need for people to have somebody to talk to.
2 years later, we've grown to about a dozen regulars, and we meet every Thursday.
It's so comfortable.
Oh, Gloria, we love you.
It's comfortable.
You're my moral compass.
It truly is therapy. It's my everything in a way.
It's absolutely therapeutic. No matter how you're feeling, coming to Ladies' Coffee sort of resettles you and sets you up for another great week until we can all meet again and share and laugh and just get crazy together.
It's the good thing, the constant good thing. No matter what's happening, no matter how your own life is going, you get this couple of hours for good every week.
That's the best news.
Love it. We're back with two pieces of your feedback that could not be more different. Contrasting feedback tonight. First from Jay, never heard this before. You're a beast. You always have a well-written and well-delivered commentary. Jay writes, I love your no blanks given approach. You know who doesn't love it, Jay? Joanne, who writes, you liberal pieces of crap are destroying our country. What happened to unbiased reporting? Your kind have destroyed Colorado. All people with a brain see what crap you liberals are. Joanne, Jay, have a super weekend. I'll see you next time.